again, welcome back. I just want to start by saying thank you for returning and being interested in the content that I'm going to be creating. I am so excited to begin this journey with you guys. I just want to share with you what my main vision for this channel would be. What it would look like is it would be different series, or even maybe I would make it into playlists, like puppy series and kitten series, diet series, supplement series, grooming tips series, and within each series would be things that I feel like are the most common questions that clients and customers would come in and ask me about, and I would take lots of questions from you guys. Whatever you suggest and I think would be worth making a full video over, I will 100% make a video on it, because I'm always down for suggestions, and that's what I do every day regardless. People come in, I don't even know what they're about to ask, and I take it from there and I work with them. So if there's anything you ever need help with, please comment down below. If I think it's specific or important enough to make a video over, or if not, I'll do my best to DM you back and help you out, or even touch upon it in different videos that I feel like would relate to it. But for this video, it's gonna be the start of the puppy series, and what better video to set the puppy series off than to be a video based upon bringing home your puppy. I'm gonna be touching on the basics, and whenever someone comes up to me and says, I'm getting a puppy tomorrow, I need to learn everything, that is a lot. I always stop and tell them it is impossible for me to tell you everything in just a few minutes. This is why I feel like a puppy series is very beneficial, because there's so much to know. So usually when someone asks me about what to do with the first few days with a puppy, I set them up with a puppy package. And a puppy package to me means the basics that you need to get started. Obviously throughout time you're going to be picking up things here and there based on what your specific puppy would need, but there are 100% essentials that every single puppy does need. So in this video, I'm gonna be touching on, and I have my notes here, so I'm gonna be touching on puppy food, training treats versus high reward treats, toys, meaning like teething and tug and stuffed animals, balls, there's so many different ways of playing, grooming essentials, edible teething, pee pads, beds, crates and playpens, and collars versus harnesses. So if this is something that you feel like you need to learn about, please keep watching. So the first thing that I always like to say to people is that it is so important to keep in mind that every puppy is so different when it comes to the way they learn, whether it's treat motivated or praise motivated, their favorite flavors of food, their favorite ways of playing, their stages of teething, because every puppy is so different. Also to keep in mind that when you do get a puppy, it is a little bit of a frustrating time for both you and your baby, but the one thing that I always say to people, and what really does help, is to remember that even if this isn't your first puppy, or if it is, you are learning to be the guardian of that puppy, and the puppy is learning to be a pet. He or she doesn't know that they're supposed to pee on a pee pad or pee outside, and that they're not supposed to bite you. They don't know that they're not supposed to bite the couch, or they don't know that they're not supposed to beg for food. So it's so difficult when you're in the moment to remember that, but it's very important because it really does save your sanity, and it helps you take a step back when you're going through a moment with your puppy to just stop and think, they are doing their best. They're just a baby. They're so young, and you really do need patience, especially for the first maybe 6 months. Definitely up until a year, they're still considered a puppy, but the first 6 months I find are the most crucial when it comes to training and routines and everything. So that aside, the first thing that I want to touch on is puppy food. There are hundreds and hundreds of food brands out there. What I always say is that you want to make sure that you are, first of all, top of the list, you want to make sure that you're on a puppy specific kibble for at least the first year of their life. Depending on the breed, they can be considered a puppy from a year up until 18 months. If they're a larger breed, their bodies are still developing, their muscles are still growing, and they're still maturing. They mature a lot slower than smaller breeds do. So if you have a smaller breed, from 5 to 70 pounds, I wouldn't go any past 70. They're done developing at around a year. Anything past that is 18 months. So you want to make sure that you're on a puppy specific food, whether it's a kibble or whether it's raw, whether it's gently cooked, you need to feed them as if they're a puppy for that amount of time. And the reason for this is that pet food companies formulate their food and they label it puppy, adult, senior for a reason. It's not for marketing. It is specific to age groups. Puppy food, in particular, since we're talking about puppy food, comes with a lot more calories. It comes with a lot more vitamins, a lot more supplements for brain development, bone development, heart health, immune system. It has so many things in there for growing bodies. If you think about an actual human baby, they're going to be fed either their mom's milk or baby specific formula or baby food. Apply that in the same way to a puppy. It is tailored for them. It is there to help their bodies grow properly. And yeah. Now, when it comes to brands of food and which direction to go when it comes to the nutrition aspect of it and what's best for them, there are so many different opinions, and it's up to you to do your own research and learn more about it to figure out what in your mind is the best for your dog. I'm going to touch on all this in future videos. The bringing home your puppy video is not the place to touch on actual food brands and what versus what is best. Let's just say you're feeding your puppy a kibble. There are different ways of feeding, which would be raw or gently cooked or freeze-dried raw. There are pros and cons to everything. Bringing home a puppy, most people will stick to kibble for the first little while until the puppy has learned a lot more with them and has adjusted to the new lifestyle. So again, let's just pretend you're going based off of a kibble, okay? If you go to the pet store and you pick up a food bag that says puppy on it, what you want to look for in the first 5 ingredients particularly is things that you would think would fuel your puppy. So there are some food brands that the first ingredient is corn, or the first ingredient is meat byproduct, or it would be rice. And there are other brands that the first ingredient would be whatever recipe you choose. Let's just pretend it's chicken. The first ingredient would be fresh chicken meat, and then chicken heart. Those, in comparison, of course you would pick the ones that sounds more proper, healthy, and sounds more fueling for a dog body. Of course you want to look at all the ingredients in the bag of food, but the reason you want to look at the first 5 ingredients is because when they list ingredients, it goes based off of weight. So whatever is first is the heaviest, what's most present in the bag before processing, of course. Okay, baby, go down. Go down, my love. Go down, baby. Good girl. Some brands that I like to suggest: Acana, Open Farm, or Go Solutions. The next super important thing to include in your puppy package would be training treats. And there's a difference between training treats and high reward treats. High reward treats are the more classic known type of treats like biscuits or cookies, like the soft chewy treats. Those are considered high reward treats. Training treats are a low calorie, usually 1 to 2 ingredient treat. Because it's so simple and so low calorie, you can give a bunch at a time. Training sessions with your dog based off of these. I'll give you an example. This is just what I pulled out of my cupboard. This is something that would be considered a high reward treat. It's almost done, so you can't really tell, but it's bigger pieces. It's a chewy formula. It's not a 1 ingredient list. It's a super healthy treat, but it's not a 1 ingredient treat. You don't want to be using a bunch of these at a time to teach your dog how to sit, because they're going to be filling up, they're going to be gaining weight, they're not going to be hungry for their actual puppy food, which is the stuff that gives them all the nutrients and vitamins. I'll explain when you would use this in a sec. This is a training treat. It's little tiny little pieces. It's only 1 ingredient. The fact that it's only 1 ingredient is super good, and that's what you want to look for when you're training your dog, because you can take a bunch, and especially it being the size, repetitively reward your dog with Sage is wanting some treats. And you could repetitively give your dog a treat after treat because it's a healthier option. Let's just say you're teaching your dog how to sit. You'd be taking a few in your hand. Once they sit, you give a treat. And then you do it again, because repetitiveness is what helps them learn. And lots of praise too. Also on walks, a lot of people like to purchase a little pouch that you hook onto your pants, put a handful of these. As they're behaving well on walks, you would just be handing them a treat every so often. When you would use a high reward treat is, let's say for example, you're trying to celebrate something big with your dog. Oh my goodness. Sorry if it looks a bit different. Sage just kind of knocked right into the tripod. Anyways, so if I remember where I was at, high reward treats is when you want to celebrate something real big with your dog. So let's pretend that they went pee on the pee pad for the first time, and you really want to get it in their mind that this is something that they're supposed to do. You want to cheer and you want to throw a party for your dog who just peed on the pee pad, and you want to give them a high reward treat, because if they're repetitively getting their training treats, it's just going to be a regular type of reward. But if you give them something that's a little bit different taste, a little bit different texture, and it's tasty for them, they're gonna be like, ooh, this was good, maybe I should do that again and I'll get this treat again. But these are the things that you want to give in moderation, because even if it's a super healthy treat, it's a higher calorie, and again, you don't want them to be gaining unnecessary weight, and you don't want them to be filling up and not eating their meals. The next topic would be toys. In a puppy package, I usually give 3 different types. One would be a teething toy, one would be a ball or a tug toy, and the last would be a stuffed animal toy. Teething toys would be a little bit of a hard, but not too hard, rubbery toy with grooves or nubs, and lots of puppies like to use these to massage the gums. From when they're a baby to when they're around, and it's different for every dog, but when they're around 5 to 6 months, they are teething. Up until then, they're teething. Puppies will be growing their baby teeth up until around 3 to 4 months. And during that process, it is a little bit of a painful time and frustrating time for them. So you want to make sure you're providing lots of toys and different options that they could be chewing on, because they're going to be biting your hands and your feet and your shoes and maybe your furniture, because they need to get that bite desire out. Again, if you think about babies, they're in pain when they're growing their baby teeth, and they get those red cheeks and they're crying all the time. It is a painful time for them. Usually puppies in the first few months would be biting because of that, and also because they don't know that they're not supposed to bite. But when it comes to teething, providing lots of stuff for them to help them through that process is a lot easier on you and on them, and it's gonna relieve a lot of stress as if you didn't provide that for them. Next would be a ball or a tug toy, and this is when you're going to learn what type of play style your puppy has. They'll either love to tug with you, or they'll love for you to throw a ball, and they'll be entertained with you throwing a ball and then bringing it back for so long. Or they'll be independent and they'll just want to be squeaking things on their own. So you can provide your dog with something like this. And especially puppies, they really like this type of texture, like the spiky texture. It's squeaky. This is a super popular option. Look, she wants it. Take it, go, go. Then you'll be providing them with balls. Balls, I find, are just like a necessity for most puppies. They love to run, they love to chase. So anything, especially again, this texture, but anything is nice and beneficial for them and getting their energy out. Tug toys, I don't have a rope here. Usually there would be a rope, it's kind of twisted together, 2 knots at the end, and it frills at the end. Is another essential that I usually give to people. You can use that for tugging, but then you could also use it to help soothe their gums. What I usually tell people is to soak it in water and stick it in the freezer, and that would be something that acts as a soothing type of toy, because once it's cold, puppies will sink their teeth into it and it'll be nice and relaxing and soothing for their mouth. Another tug toy would be anything with this type of look to it. They grab one end, you grab the other, and you guys just tug together. That also gets lots of energy out for them. Something that I forgot to mention earlier was when I mentioned that puppies will be teething from when they're born until around 5, 6, 7 months. After they grow their baby teeth in, which are super sharp teeth, eventually they're gonna be growing their adult teeth in. Their puppy teeth are gonna become wiggly, they're gonna bleed a little bit, and they're gonna be losing their teeth. Their adult teeth will come in at around 5, give or take 5 months. So that's another time period that's super crucial, that you provide the toys and the edible chew sticks that they need to help relieve that pain. Because if they're frustrated, they're not gonna wanna listen to you. They're gonna be biting on things, they're gonna be biting you, you're gonna be mad, and they're gonna be mad. So to create peace for everybody, just make sure you're super particular and you provide everything for them that they need. There are 2 things that I usually give to people when it comes to an edible teething method. I think, in my opinion, it's important to give the 2 types of teething methods it being the toy method and it being the edible method. The reason for that is because lots of puppies will eventually get tired of just chewing on the same plastic toy over and over again. So it's good to spice it up and keep them interested in chewing on what they're allowed to chew on. Those two options would be something that's a rawhide alternative. This one that I have here is called No Hide. The brand is Earth Animal. And it's literally just a flour water mixture and then whatever protein that it lists. There's a few different ones and they come in different sizes as well. For a smaller dog, you would want something like this. All the pets are just so interested in what's going on. So the idea of this is as they chew it, it gets a lot softer and it becomes something that's super easy for them to chew on, unlike a bone or something like that that's just gonna harm their teeth. And she wants this, so I'm just gonna give it to her. Go enjoy, baby. The other option that I give them is a little bit of a longer lasting chew. This is called a bully stick. They're the same idea when it comes to the way it breaks down. As they chew it, it becomes softer and easier for them to chew on. And it's an all natural treat, so it's not like it's flour where it's a little bit of a heavier treat. It's just all natural. Okay, let's talk pee pads. Come. So talking about pee pads to customers is, in my opinion, very personal. It depends on the way you want to bring your dog up. If you want them to be peeing on pee pads, at the beginning of their life, of course, you're not gonna be letting them pee on pee pads their entire life. But if that's how you wanna start, I find that that's the most peaceful of the training. Some people want to just teach their dog to go outside straight away. There's a reason that I don't think that that works very well, and I'll tell you why. Thinking of puppies, they will pee anywhere and everywhere once they need to go. First of all, one of the main reasons is because they are not taught yet that they're supposed to go in one specific place. But also, the reason that I don't think that it's a good idea to teach them how to go outside right off the bat is because if you're not around, for example, if let's pretend you went out to work, or let's pretend it's nighttime, you miss the time period to let them go outside and they have an accident in the house, you're gonna end up upset because you have to clean it up. Whereas if you teach them to go on a pee pad first, it's a lot more peace of mind, because once you teach them how to go on a pee pad, if that situation happens and you're not around, they won't pee all over the house, they'll pee right on the pee pad, because that's what they were taught to do. And again, this is just my opinion, and this is what worked for me, and this is the method that I found worked for a lot of customers as well. Once they learn how to go on the pee pad, they'll keep doing it, and if you use those training treats and lots of praise in those situations, they'll get it a lot quicker. Sage is playing with her little foil ball, so if you hear any crinkling, that is her running around and playing. I will 100% make a video on training them how to pee on their pee pads, and then when they're ready to pee outside, that video will also consist of how to teach them how to pee outside. The next essential would be beds, crates, or playpens, whichever one that you have decided you want your lifestyle to have. It's important to provide your dog with their own bed, because dogs need their own space where they can go and rest and feel that it is only theirs and no one else is going to touch it, and this is where they go to rest. It is up to you if you wanted to crate train them or use playpens to keep them blocked off and have their own space there. I tried to crate train my dog, and after many attempts, it was just not the right lifestyle for her. But I do know so many dogs benefit very well from crates, and they will sleep in their crate for the night, or it's just a little bit of a process in figuring out if your dog is happy in this situation. So my main thing to make sure you have is at least a bed, and then figure out if you wanted your dog to be crate trained. Playpens I found very beneficial, because when I first got my dog, I was in a place that was in a little bit more of an open concept main floor, and I would take the playpen that is usually used in a round form or a square form, and they are in that pen, but I took that open concept floor and divided half of it. So I opened the playpen and put it from wall to wall, and she had half of the floor. And in that half of the floor, she had her pee pads where she was supposed to go. She had her section for her bed, and she had her section for her toys and her water. But that was what worked for me, and after lots of trial and error, lots and lots of trial and error, that is what I found worked best for me and for her, and kept everyone at their full happiness. On the other hand, crate training, like I said, is also very beneficial, and I know that there are some dogs that look forward to being in their crate because they were crate trained properly. Some people start by feeding their dog meals in their crate and letting them eat, and then letting them kind of have some moments for themselves after they eat, and then letting them out. Or another method is giving them a chew, and you stick the chew in their crate. They go in their crate, you lock them in there, let them chew for a little bit. It's a lot more of a positive experience rather than sticking them in their crate and walking away. And to end the puppy package essentials off is one of the more important things, in my opinion, to make sure that you include, and that is the whole grooming world. This is another thing that is very dependent on the dog themselves, based on the thickness of their hair, if they're double coated, or if they're a hypoallergenic dog and don't shed, the thickness, the length, the rate of growing, their nails, their ears, their teeth. That is just a whole world that you need to make sure that you introduce to your dogs right at the beginning, because I know so many people who have learned that they need to start brushing their dog's teeth, but their dog is not used to it and was not conditioned to it as they were little. So it is a fighting process to brush the teeth, because the dog just doesn't want that to happen to them, because they don't know any better. So it's very important at the very beginning to even just do something as simple as sticking your finger in your dog's mouth and massaging the gums and getting them used to the feel of that. Dental health is so important to their overall health, so you want to be starting at as early as you can to condition them to getting their teeth brushed and their nails clipped and their bodies brushed. I can show you the main things that I give to people, and in future videos I will go more into depth. So there's a few products that I usually recommend when it comes to that whole world. I'll start with brushing. Usually, and again it depends on the breed, but usually as they're puppies they have super fine fur, so you don't need anything too particular to their breed yet. But I'll usually suggest something called a slicker. The slicker brush is super important because it is the type of brush to remove any undercoat that might be developing, or to remove any knots that could be there. Not all slicker brushes are what I prefer. I prefer the slicker brushes with the little nubs, the little plastic or rubber nubs at the end. There are some that don't come with that, and if you don't use it properly, you can cut their skin. But this one, because of the nubs at the end, it's super gentle and it doesn't hurt at all. Other type of brush would be something like this, and this is just a comb. This does a great job of picking out any knots that might be there. So if you're gliding this through your dog's coat and you get caught on something, that's when you know to stop there, remove the comb, and focus the slicker on that. Next would be nails. Most dogs, and I'm pretty sure 99% of dogs as their babies, need the smallest little baby nail cutter that you can find. The reason that you want it so small and not the bigger option, even if they're gonna grow to be a bigger dog, is because the smaller the nail clipper, the more control that you have. And there is that vein in the nail that you don't want to cut. If you cut it a little bit, it's not that big of a deal, but you really want to work so slowly and work your way up to the vein. You want to stop right before the vein. Some dogs have clear nails and some dogs have black nails. The black nails, you can't really see where the vein is. That's why you need to work so slowly and just cut little slivers out at a time. But nail cutting is super important for them. You want to be doing it at least once a month. And then it comes to teeth. And teeth products is something that I am very particular about. What I started with was a no brush gel. The no brush gel is awesome because you apply it to the tops of the gums, a nice generous line, remove food and water for about 30 minutes, and then you let them chew on something like the no hides or the bully sticks or their teething toys. And as they chew it, what the product does is once it sits on there for 30 minutes, softens any existing plaque that's there. And when they go to chew, this made the plaque soft. The chewing will help remove any plaque. When my dog was old enough, graduated to the teeth brushing, she gets her teeth brushed once a week, and she gets the no brush gel every single day. And you don't want to use just any human toothpaste. You want to make sure you use dog specific, obviously dog specific toothpaste. It's not anything that's gonna foam up. It's not anything that's gonna smell super minty. It's gonna be tailored to them. This is my other favorite product, and I love this product. It is a water additive. Blue Stem is the brand. I don't know. Sorry, I'm not showing you products up close. I don't know if you can read this properly, but it's called Blue Stem. What it does is it says it freshens breath, helps fight plaque and tartar, and it's unflavored. Unflavored is always so important because what I find when it comes to customer reviews, at least, is if they get the flavored ones, this comes in a chicken flavor and a mint flavor and few others, I believe. Their water is going to taste a little bit off, and usually that results in them dehydrating themselves because they don't like mint flavored water or chicken flavored water, you know? So you do want to make sure you grab the unflavored one. But the way this works is this works the exact same way as the no brush gel, is it softens the plaque basically. You get the benefit every single time they drink water. So I think that this is a necessity. And then it comes to bathing. For puppy bathing, you want to make sure you grab a puppy specific shampoo. Puppy skin is a lot more sensitive than adult dog's skin, so you want to make sure that you grab a puppy specific shampoo and a tear-free shampoo. Obviously, and it might go without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway, you want to make sure you avoid the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and the ear holes with the water and the shampoo. Puppies don't need baths any more than once a month, typically, more or less, give or take. That's not to say as if they have an accident and run in their pee that you can't wash them. Give them a bath and clean them off, but you don't want to be washing their entire body every single day or every single week. You want to make sure you keep it at about a month to keep the natural oils of the skin neutral. Okay, I have a ton of products in front of me, and looking at all this, I think that sums up everything. Like I said at the beginning of the video, you're gonna be picking up things as you go along, but this is just what I give people when they come in and say, I need everything for my dog. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it to be educational, and I hope you picked up a few tips and tricks, and I hope I was informative to you. If I said anything specific that I'm gonna touch on in future videos, I will. I've made notes. That's why I keep looking over here. I've made notes. So I will touch on things in the future. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to comment down below anything specific that you would like to learn about. Riley says, thank you for being interested in providing your puppy with an awesome puppy package. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!